Good evening, my friend. I'm Timothy Flemming, Sr., the pastor of Mount Carmel Baptist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for tuning in today, Words from a Senior Pastor. I want to take this privilege to thank all of you for your support, because when you encourage me and say that I'm blessing you with these words from a senior pastor, it encouraged me to continue to do so. Yes, sometimes I'm very busy and I barely can have that opportunity to sit down and do what I'm doing today. But when that opportunity comes and I do it, I'm encouraged so much more from you when you say you bless me with these words, because that's what it is. Now I need to explain. These talks are not necessarily sermons. And some of you probably get a little confused. Where's the text? Well, I may not take a text, and I might quote something out of the Bible, and I might take a text. But these are more topical messages. That is, they're not textual, but topical messages. So I don't intend to use this moment just to preach, and yet I will. But most of these talks are really just talks to you, almost like counseling and giving you encouraging words. Most of you know me as a preacher. I sing, but I'm primarily known as a preacher because preaching is what I love most. I do sing, but I love preaching, and I've been doing that since I was 11 years old, but I really announced my calling when I was 5 years old. So I've been born to do nothing but this, and this is all I love to do, and I know my calling. I love to preach. So I do preach. I'm not taking this opportunity to preach. I do that every Sunday. But I'm finding that when I talk to you like this, from I to this camera to you, I really feel like I'm really connecting right in your home, right where you can have a private place where you can really listen to what I'm saying. And I have been aware of this very long time that when people can communicate and they feel like you're right dead in their face and talking to them, they receive you better, and it seems to connect, because we are talking about issues that people go through that most church people don't want to talk about. Hope you understand my purpose for doing this. It's been blessing me and encouraging me, and people are calling us, telling us, I wait for your words, and you really bless me. Thank you for your support. Today, I'm going to talk about something that may not be pleasing to everybody, but it's going to really help you. I'm going to talk about a complaining mouth. A complaining mouth. And the danger of actually complaining with your mouth. I hope that when I finish these few words to you, you will see the danger of complaining. Now let's be clear with this. We complain about a lot of things in life. You might have a big house and then complain it's too big. But when you have a small house, it was too congested. You might complain about, well, I got this old car and it keeps breaking down. Then when you get a new car, you complain that the notes are too high. You might complain about, I can't have no kids. And then when God bless you to have a kid, they get on my nerve. Think about that. I've had people to join our church, and some people say, I don't like a big crowd because nobody know me and the pastor can't connect. Then you go and get a smaller church, and you get sick and tired of the people in your business. One thing about a big church, they don't get in your business as much because they don't know you. But a small church gets right in your business. You can't even miss a Sunday without them trying to figure out where you are. There's always something to complain about. But I want to show you that sometimes these things can hinder you, and they can cripple you without you knowing it. People do not like a complaining mouth all the time. And you may not be aware that when you complain all the time, you get on some people's nerves. Now let's get right into today's message about a complaining mouth. And I'm going to start off by saying to you today, why do people complain? And I hope you write these things down. If you're not where you can write it down, you're riding along in your car, you just keep playing this, and it's going to really change your life. Number one, people complain because they're not grateful. And I know some of you are going to say, I am grateful. No, if you really think about it, ingratitude causes a lot of people to complain. You know why? You don't look back and see what you are blessed with. You're too busy looking at what you don't have. You're not thinking about what you have. You are blessed beyond your wildest imagination. And one of the things that can really shut a complaining mouth is to go to the hospital. Hey, every time I have gone to the hospital and prayed for people, that really makes me be grateful that I woke up and I'm able to move around in my right mind. We don't ever know how blessed you are. And when you think about how blessed you really are, you will become more relaxed and stop complaining. You are blessed. You know, a lot of us in this country think we're poor, and some of us don't realize we're rich. I know some of you are saying, how could that be? You need to travel around the world in some very poor countries. And I have been around the world 5 times. I have seen poverty look like at its worst. I don't even want to describe what I have seen. And when I was in India, I told I was the first Afro-American preacher to come there to preach. Not to go there, but to preach. And I saw some sights that really was heartbreaking. In Calcutta, India. In fact, you can go on YouTube and see me preaching there in the 90s sometime in Calcutta, India. I can tell you right now, I don't know how people lived in such poverty and still look so pretty and look so clean. I've seen people bathing in the lakes, and sometimes the animals were in the lake. I've seen them washing in the lake. They didn't have the sanitation that we have here. And I've seen children homeless. If you give them a penny, they look pitiful. They will run after you crying, give me something, give me something. These were homeless children. And as beautiful as these children were, you would have never known that they were homeless. Looked like God just took care of their skin, they don't look dirty, but homeless. But there's some other sight that I saw. 100 million people in one city, Calcutta. 100 million? It's over 700 million people there in India. And then Africa, on down, the places they live in the poor sanitation. Friend, and we come here to America and you're complaining about what you don't have, you need to go around the world. And you will stop that complaining mouth. Of all the countries that I have been in, I still rather be right here in America than to be anywhere else. It is still, to me, the richest country on earth. Now, this country has its problems. It does have problems. Just show me somebody that doesn't have problems. All countries have that problem. We suffer a lot with racism here in America. But did you know there's racism in other countries that are people of the same color? That's going on there. There's always something in us that wants to hate something. I've learned that in psychology. It's just in our human nature that we love something. There's something in us that wants to hate something for some reason. And hate is good in its place. Some things I hate seeing, some things I hate hearing, some things you need to hate. But you need to know how to put hate in its place. You don't hate people, especially about things they can't do nothing about. You can hate me for stealing, you can hate me for killing, but you shouldn't hate me for the color of my skin or the way I'm made, because I had nothing to do with that. I couldn't do nothing about it. That's the way God made people, and you can't do that. So you think about all these things, that every country has its problem. One of ours has been racism, has been a hindrance. But look, still, with all of the problems in America, It is still the freest country in the world. People say most what they want. You have liberty. You can become wealthy here or broke. It's your opportunity. A lot of people are rich because they took advantage of that opportunity to get rich here. Some people are poor because you didn't use your opportunity. Not in every case, but you have to have something in you to make you rise up in this country. And the government doesn't care. The government just won't hear us. Amen. But boy, I've been in a country where they can pay off judges just like that. And nobody can do nothing about it. When we think about this great land of ours, it's still the greatest nation on earth, and it's still a country of peace. We don't have the dictatorships like there are in other countries that here in this country. So we don't need to keep complaining about some things are really a blessing to you. But you have to experience other things to know what you got. Some of you have had good people in your marriage life when you were married, but let me just be straight to you. Sometimes you'll lose a good thing when you don't wake up and see a good thing. I'm sure after Adam and Eve got put out the garden, they found out what they had. They didn't have to work. They didn't have to pay rent. They didn't have to pay light bills. They didn't have to do all the things we have to do now as a result of them getting put out of the garden. Look what we go through. They had everything for free. They didn't realize what they messed up and lost until they were put out of that garden. And listen, friend, I hope you get this. Same in your marriage, same. You don't know what a good woman you got till you lose her sometime. And a good man you had, no, they may have not have been good in some areas or probably weak in this area, but you got to look at the whole picture of what you got. It's instead of complaining about it, it may be a blessing to you because you can get something worse. Wow. So you got to look at your blessing, what you have. Look at the good that's in people as well as looking at the bad. Oh, I know they may have faults, but what about the good? He may not go to church, but will he work? Oh, she may not be the best housekeeper, but will she work? Some women will not work, but some will work all day. They just don't keep house and don't cook, but they do other things that some won't do. Think about what's good in that person that attracted you to that person. They may not have every kind of gift you want. Amen? Amen. So when you complain, before you complain about the person, what they don't have, start thinking about what they do have. And this can be explored and talked about a good while, but I don't want to talk all day. But I want you to grasp your blessing. Be grateful. Show gratitude. Ingratitude make people complain. But I can kill that if you look around and see how blessed you are. Look at what you have. And look at what some people don't have. Then I believe this will stop you complaining. You got to see your blessing. And many times, some of us can't see for looking. Did you catch that? Some people can't see for looking. They're so busy looking, they can't see. And there's a difference in looking and seeing. Looking is just the outer appearance. I think seeing is looking on the inside. And some of us can't see for looking. We're ungrateful. We're ungrateful. We are ungrateful. And when you're ungrateful, you haven't counted your blessing. When you have not counted your blessing, you complain. And then you complain about everything. Let's continue now. Going back to my notes. Another thing that make people complain, they're spoiled. We are spoiled and do childish things when we complain. That's a child that's spoiled. And wow, God, you can spoil a person so quick, giving them everything they want, and they get used to that. And once they get used to that, they can't take it when they can't get it. Did you know that sometimes can make a robber and a killer and a child? That you give that child everything they want, they never work for it. Then when they grow up and they find out they can't get it for free like they got it for free, then they end up stealing and killing to get it. Because they are used to getting something for nothing. And you spoil a kid when you give them everything they want. And I know we all guilty of that, but you know what hurt us? We keep looking at how we grew up, trying to compare kids to the way they are today. Well, I didn't have this when I grew up, and I'm going to make sure my kids get that. That may be the worst thing for them. They need to know about hard times so they will appreciate and know to work. I must say, one of the dangerous things that I see in this generation, and I hate to say it, but it's true, we got a lazy generation. Our young people don't know nothing about work ethics. They don't want to work. They want this big pay. They want all this money to do nothing. Wow. That's one thing has messed up. Maybe technology is messing up this young generation. They think they can sit on a computer and do everything and not do no physical work. And brother, that technology can be dangerous. You know why? The machine's doing everything for us. That was a time we had to work. We didn't have all these computers and access to technology that we have just at the stroke of your pen and that little mouse. You can do all these things. We had to get out and physically do it. I remember when I was a student in Morehouse, we had to stand in line 8 to 12 hours to get registered. There were no computers. But now they can go online and register. Now I was asking my grandson, when you going up to take your course? Dad, Grandpa already took my courses. I said, how? I went online and found out what courses were available and what the classes are already filled. I said, you haven't been nowhere, so I went online. That's good, but let me tell you what Morehouse did for us when we had to walk. They orientated us in this campus. I mean, they purposely sometimes will make us walk all over the campus, go to different departments and we get registered. You had to go to every classroom and every department to find out if you could take the course. But you know what they were doing? Orientating us. We got to know the campus. We found out where those buildings were. I never will forget it. When I first registered in Morehouse College, they would get smart with you for a purpose. I asked one of the ladies, ma'am, can you show me the restroom? She said, read until you find it. And I can't tell you what I want to say back because I got mad. It was old Dr. Watson's wife. He was a pastor and his wife was in the administration. Read until you find it. I said, I beg your pardon. And the Holy Ghost held me back. I said something to that woman. I said, I just want to find the bathroom. You know what? My wife was working up there at the time in the admission office. And I said, why are they so cruel to it? She said, they want black men to stop asking and read. I said, oh, they're trying to make you mad to see if you can handle it up here. Because a lot of people couldn't handle it. They went in but walked out. They trying to mold a black man to give some pride in him, the importance of stop begging your way around, stop asking people, read and read until you see restroom. Why? There'll come a time in your life people not going to tell you nothing. So that was work for us, but now this generation is getting lazy. And I must say, we got to do something. There's so many young people, and you know I'm right, trying to get on disability and already able to do anything. Finding any little thing to get a paycheck to do nothing. And we are not advancing because we don't have that working in us. Rich people, I have discovered that are rich, a lot of them have what they have because they deserve it. You know why they deserve it? They work hard. We think rich people just lying around, sitting around in the swimming pool looking at the dolls and playing. No, that's when they have a moment for that. Baby, they get up early in the morning. Even crooks and the mafia don't sit around. They somewhere behind closed doors strategizing how to pull another game and get more wealth. Crooks, you know, I discovered when I read about all the crooks in the past, they weren't lazy. From Jesse James on through. Hey, they were busy doing things. And a lot of people got rich because they're hard workers. And you can talk about them all you want to, but I have to give them credit. They don't lie around and sleep. They get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, talk about who they're going to shoot and who they're going to kill and who they're going to, do things to, strategizing with crooks. Crooks even know how to work. And sometimes church folk are bad at that. We try to put it on the Holy Ghost and all that and get away from doing our work. I remember I had an employee here one time. She came late work every day, but she had the Holy Ghost and she sounded like she was the best person in the world. One day I went to her desk and you know what she told me? I'm the boss and pastor. She said, just a moment, I'm meditating. Meditating. I interrupted her meditation and said, listen, you go clock out. You're going to go praying and meditating to keep from working and not reading your Bible while working. But she didn't play that when she wanted a check on Friday. One day I pulled a trick on her. I said, I'm meditating. When she came for a check, she got mad and slammed the door. Oh, I meditated. But she wasn't ready for no meditation on that payday. We play games. We lazy. Let's confess it. A lazy spirit gets nowhere. You got to get up and work for what you want. That's why you complaining. Help me, Holy Ghost. I say, help me, Holy Ghost. We spoil. We don't want to confess it. We used to getting things for free. And nothing free but salvation. And my old words to that, and the only reason that's free, somebody paid for that. Jesus paid the price so you can get that free. Hey, look at me, young person. You want to ruin your future. You keep pulling games to keep from doing work. You get my age, you won't have nothing. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm 66, old enough to say it. If you want something in this world, you better work. The Bible said, work while it is day, for night cometh when no man can work. And if you got a lazy spirit, you need to pick yourself up. Because you're not lazy about things you really want to do. You might be lazy about something, but something you really want to do, you'll do it. So you need to examine yourself. What do you want? And if you want it bad enough, you got to stop acting childish and complaining about the work too much. They don't pay enough for the work. But what do you say when you broke? It ain't about they don't pay enough. You need that little enough. This got to hit home and wake somebody up complaining about, I don't make enough money. Well, you want you want big pay with little service. All right, if you got a 3rd grade education, you're going to get a 3rd grade pay. You must go on to school and get something in your hand, a piece of paper, or something to protect you, to get some recognition. Go back, get your diploma, go back, get a trade. Everybody not college material, true, but go learn something. Because nobody's going to they'll give you something, but they're going to give you what you're worth. And mama and daddy know that. Old folk will tell you that didn't go to school, they'll tell you to go. Because they have learned through life the best way to success is hard work and education. Not just education. I've seen some lazy educated folk, but hard work and education will pay off. So we got to stop that spoiled stuff here in America. That's what's wrong with them. That's why so many of us are overweight. And obesity is here in Atlanta and all over the place. We're so huge and big. Why? America used to getting fed, but our places are starving for food. We just lazy. All right. Stop complaining when there's a lazy spirit. Now, another thing that causes a complaining mouth is the spirit of greed. Greed. That causes people to complain. You know, when you're greedy, you're always fussing. You're always complaining, because you can't get enough. When you can't get enough, you can't be satisfied. And when you're not satisfied, you fuss and grumble and mumble and complain. I want to go back to that point about ingratitude again. Something spoke to me because the children of Israel are a good example of that. They complained against Moses and they complained about God after they got out of Egypt. And God caused them to suffer and made them stay in the wilderness 40 years when they could have gone there in 10 days because they had a wilderness mentality. And they didn't see God's goodness. He led them out of Egypt, crossed the Red Sea. They saw his hand working, and then they started to complaining. In Exodus 16, they went to complaining against God. There's no food here. There's nothing to eat. We would have been better off dying in Egypt. Well, you were dying in Egypt. Then why you want to get out? Why didn't you just stay there and die? No, you were tired of Egypt, but got out, forgot the blessing, forgot about what God had done, and God got angry. And you know, in Numbers, God got so angry at them complaining against Moses, he sent serpents there and bit the people. Snakes got in the camp. I preached a sermon there, pretty much known for snakes in the church. That's why God sent snakes. They were complaining. Why were they complaining? Ingratitude. Ingratitude. Didn't look back and see the goodness of God. And that comes probably as a result they never been a nation. Egypt paid all the bills. Egypt fed them. They were slaves, but Pharaoh took care of them. They never had an army. They never had nothing to do for themselves. But you know, a lot of that complaining stopped when they had to fight their own battles and had their own king. They had to stop fussing about what, you know, God didn't do and start looking about what they didn't do. Praise God today. But back to greed. Greed is a thing when we got a spirit of greed. Let me tell you something. Greed is the only thing I believe that's going to destroy our country. And why are we so greedy? We're greedy because we're just greedy. Well, Pastor, that's not explaining. Now, greed comes from desire and not satisfied. That's the word I'm probably want to use. You're not satisfied with enough. Enough is not enough. Have you noticed the more we get, the more we want? I think somebody asked Mr. Rockefeller, what does it take to make you happy? You're the richest man in the world. He said, $1 more. $1 more. That's what money will do to you. Money will make you want money. And before you know it, money will have you in love with money. And then you're going to later find out some things money cannot buy. Then you're going to get mad and complain about that. Yes, money can buy a house, but it cannot buy a home. There's a lot of people have a big house, but they don't have no home. They have wall-to-wall carpet and wall-to-wall hell. That every room you walk in is hell there, and is hell there, and is hell there. But it's a big house, but it's not a home. Money can buy you food, but money cannot buy you appetite. You better be grateful you can get hungry and eat. Some people are so sick they don't have no appetite. A lot of you all say, I don't have much food, but I sure can eat what I get. And a lot of you know that's to be true because when you busting out of clothes, you can tell. Amen. But food doesn't give you appetite. You got to have an appetite to eat food. So money can buy a home, it can buy food, but no, and you know what? A bed can buy you a bed, but it cannot buy you sleep. I don't care how beautiful and pretty that bed is. You can be lying in a beauty-rest mattress and rolling all night long because can't no money buy sleep. I could go on and tell you what money can buy and what money cannot buy you. Yes, you need something internally to satisfy you. And you know what? That's God. Solomon says, vanity, 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 all is vanity. He was the richest man in the world, but he told us it's vanity. All that you got doesn't satisfy. You know what? I only believe the reason things doesn't satisfy is because when God made man, he broke off a piece of him and put it in man, and man will never be happy until he come back to the piece that broke off from him. And that makes the puzzle complete. You'll never be happy until you go back to the original maker who broke off a piece of himself and put it in you, and that's God. So, greedy people complain. They complain about somebody else got a little more than they have, and they can't rest till they get it. You know, I remember when the story is told about a man who was greedy, and two stories told about a man who was greedy. They found out how to destroy him. They found out if you want to get rid of him and get his access, put something in him that he continuously wants. So one time, let's say we call this person John. Hey, John, they went to him and said, John, you know what? They knew his weakness was greed. They said, you know, you can have all this land that you see if you run over all of it. And as much as you run is yours. John said, now he got plenty. Really? I can have it all if I run over? They said, every bit of it that you run on, not walk, you run on is yours. He took off running before they could stop talking. They said, where'd he go? He gone. He ran and he ran. And all he was running and saying, mine, mine, this mine, this mine, this mine. Then he started kept running by, this mine, this mine, 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 mine. After a while they said, oh, fell. And while lying there dying, was still saying, mine, 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 and died. His enemy said, we got him. How did they get him? They knew his weakness was greed. He outran himself. He ran too hard and fell dead. And then the story says he couldn't say mine. The grave said mine. The grave said, now you are mine. That's what greed will do to you. When you can't get enough, you'll kill yourself. I got another illustration about this when a man is greedy. Watching somebody else. You got to remember, I remember when I went to Las Vegas on a vacation and I saw these fabulous, the most beautiful place in the world, these fabulous hotels. If that's anything I would like going out there, seeing those hotels. And I saw big hotels coming up, and then I asked, I said, there's another one, I think next to the Gwen, I can't think of the hotel right now, it's fabulous. Another one was coming up just as big, and I said, wow, look like they're competing. Somebody told me they are. This other rich man building this one, got jealous, and now he's trying to build one to look better than that. That's greed. They got everything in the world but competing because I don't want you to have more than I have. Rich folk do that. And that can cause destruction. That was another illustration about a man that they saw had a greedy spirit and were watching somebody else, weren't satisfied with what he had. And the story says that this man was wealthy and he had everything a person would need, but then somebody came and told him there's some gold, there's some diamonds in Africa. And a friend of his told him, say, hey man, you know it's really diamonds in Africa and we need to go over there and invest and try to buy some of that property. People getting rich. He said, really? Oh, wow. Now, he got everything. You know what he did? He sold all his stock. He sold all his land, everything he owned, and ran to Africa and bought some property, thinking he would have diamonds too. To his surprise, there was no diamonds. He got so mad that he had lost everything he had. He killed himself. Shot himself. And guess what? The property that he owned, that he sold, his friend bought it. And one day he was out there in the field, they say watering a garden, and he saw something shining. And he discovered diamonds was on that property. Isn't that a great illustration? He bought the property that the man once satisfied had and found the same diamonds that this man was looking for somewhere else. Greed, trying to outdo somebody or be like somebody else or comparing yourself to somebody else will cause a complaining spirit. I don't have enough. I ought to have more. And he looks like that dog. You know that dog that had a bone in his mouth? And he saw his shadow in the lake? And he dropped his bone to go after that dog's shadow in the lake. And ended up when he jumped in the water and come back, he didn't have no bone at all. Praise God today. That's what the spirit of greed will do for you. You complain about what you don't have and got everything. Another reason why people complain is easy to do. It's easy to have a complaining mouth. Just complain about everything. You know why we do it? It's easy. All you got to do is open your mouth and start fussing and complaining. It's so easy. If you had to pay to complain, I think some of you would stop. But it's easy to gossip. It's easy to put people down. It's easy to say negative things. People do it on this Facebook and everywhere. Why? It's so easy to do. People who are unhappy with themselves in the spirit of greed and miserable about something that has happened to you in your past love to attack other people. They get a joy out of stabbing you. That leads me to another point. When we're complaining people, we want other folk to know we hurt. We complain because we want other folk to know we hurt. You know, we don't like suffering alone. We like hurt loves hurt. It loves to hurt other people. Why do hurt people like to hurt people? Because we don't like to hurt alone. We want somebody to know we're hurting. So we got to hurt somebody else to feel our hurt so they'll know what it feels like to hurt. So we don't like to hurt alone. We like to make sure everybody else is affected. We like to know that other people are hurting and suffering because we are. That's why we complain. We like to embarrass ourselves to embarrass other people because you're already embarrassed. So I'll go and act crazy at the restaurant. I don't like this food. I don't like that. Because you're trying to show that you're a hurt person and you want to embarrass the cooks, embarrass the waitress. I don't like that. You fuss over a piece of bacon. Oh, I don't even want to say. And you're seeing people that are raised saying, I don't want that, take it back. And can't even pay for what you get. Don't even have the money to pay for that. Just showing out, I already know what it is. You're complaining about nothing because you already hurt. You're miserable about something. You feel bad about something. You don't like yourself. And you don't want other folk to like you because you think that gets attention. I'll let y'all know I'm bad and bully and don't mess with me. That's a complaining mouth, but that's a hurt heart. That's a person not happy. And when you're not happy, you show unhappiness. And sometimes you think it's cute, really. You just want to let people know you're not somebody to step on and run over. Now, let's get to another point here. A lot of people complain because they don't want to fix the problem and they want to fuss about it. You know, if you thought about that, they complain, but they don't want to be a part of fixing the problem. I know quite a few. I can say that about here in our church. I had a lady came to me and told me, really, she said, Reverend, there's a roach over there. I said, well, go kill him. Oh, I'm not going. You go get it. I said, you know what I said to myself? I killed a roach. You know what I said? At least the roach go to church. You're a better member than you are. My God. I started to tell her, go get me the roach, and I baptize the roach and make the roach a member, and I'm sure that roach will be a better member than you are. Now, I know some of you saying, oh, yeah, the roach sometimes just in here doing his business. Go get rid of him. You fussing about it, go kill him. It's a church. You don't know what's in a church. We spray, but they can get in like they can get in your family's house. Fussing about the problem. And then when I told them, that shit got roaches in it. Well, you got them in your house too. So, Holy Ghost didn't run the roaches out. You need to get some home defense. And spray. You know, we just need to keep up. But why don't you just go do something about it and help the church out? So, Reverend, I sent the organ man over here and I paid the bill. I wouldn't care. Thank you. Just tell him don't spray me. Amen. Praise God. We like to complain in church about anything. That lady fussed at me about the bathroom. I said, well, you can come over here and they're not clean enough. Why don't some of you ladies come over here and go behind the janitor and clean it yourself and help the church out? You don't want to spend none of your time, but you want to complain. Wow. And it's your fault because you can fix the problem while you got that fussy mouth. And just don't have to fuss all the time. You fuss about, you call the preacher and then you tell the preacher, I want a good message. And then when he give you one, he's too long. And when he doesn't give you one, long, short, all he did was stand up there 10 minutes. And he paid him all his money. And all he giving is a sermonette. Well, you complain about somebody you call. And you just finding something to fuss about, but haven't tried to help fix the problem. Maybe you got him trying to pastor be everything, and he's a human being and wanted to visit everybody and then want a great sermon. He all out there everywhere and don't spend no time in the Word. He doesn't have nothing to give you. Then you complain. Take care of the pastor and take care of his needs so he will stay in the Word. He can't be out there working 8 hours a day and then try to have you a great message Sunday morning, even out there like you. Amen. You want to take things off of him so he can be studying and preparing. They try to make the pastor these days the deacon, the administrator, the preacher, and everything. And I found a lot of preachers ended up with heart attacks and strokes because they're trying to please all these members who don't want to help fix the problem. I'll give it to you like this. A man one time was always complaining about meatloaf, and he didn't like his sandwiches. And every time he got to pull out his lunch in front of his friend, he would bite into the meatloaf. I hate meatloaf. His friend would look at him. The next day, he pulls out his lunch. He eats meatloaf again. He, God, I hate meatloaf. Why eat meatloaf? He came back the third day. He and his friend were pulling out the lunch out of the bags, and he pulled his sandwich out again and bit into it. Oh, God, that old meatloaf again. I can't stand it. So his friend said to him, well, why don't you have your wife fix your lunch? You know what he said? I don't need my wife to fix my lunch. I fix my lunch every day. You'll get that later. You made the meatloaf sandwich. Then what are you complaining about? Quit fixing it. Lord God, you are complaining about something you fix. Why was he doing that? I think he was doing that, putting on a show because he needed attention. He just needed attention. He could have fixed it. You know, you complain about somebody you with all the time that you don't like them, but I haven't seen you go nowhere. Wow, what, Flemming? Oh, you better quit talking here. No, you better say, you better preach. You know, I've seen a woman fuss on a job when I was working by her husband every day, but went home and act like she was quiet and didn't say a word. If you hate him that bad, why you with him? I got confused. Got around him, she act like nothing. What's wrong? If you hate him that bad, why you stayed? I think that person on that job, that woman just looking for attention. I'm sure did not know she was low rating him on that job around us every day like that. But when I first saw him, I didn't want to look at the man the way she was talking. When I met him, nice gentleman. Complaining about something, I guess to get our attention on the job that she wanted to be seen. Miserable. We got tired of her talking about this man. Actually, some people do complain to be popular. They do complain just to show they got a problem. Some folks like having problems, I think. Some people, I like to say some people like having a womb. You know why? Because a womb gets attention. Like a little child, my little kid hurt his finger one time years ago. Every day he'd come up, look, Daddy, look, I got a Band-Aid on. And I said, oh, what's wrong? I hurt my finger, Daddy. Look, he was showing off that wound. He really was taking joy out of showing that. And sometimes I would say, I kiss it. Now it don't hurt no more. He laughed. He wasn't in pain. He just wanted to let me know he had a Band-Aid on his sore. And some of you grown folk every day, look, y'all, look. See that? I hurt. I cried. I've been hurt. Y'all don't know what somebody did to me. And I get so tired of people getting on talking about what somebody did to them, but they don't tell you what they did to make somebody do what they did to them. What did you do to cause the problem? That part we don't like telling. That's called nursing a wound so somebody will feel it. I better get off that before you already tune me out. So you want everybody to know how you feel. And I want to say this just by closing here. When you complain, it becomes a way of life. Did you know that? That's why you need to stop complaining. Complaining becomes a way of life. Now, I don't want to get into physics and all that stuff, but I do know that science and medical science teaching us now that you have to be careful what you keep repeating, because once you repeat something several times, your mind and your body start connecting with it, and your mind will grab it and make it habitual, and it becomes you. It's amazing how when we say things, how our mind will grab it, and your mind is programmed to repeat stuff if you repeat it. And then it becomes you, that it just automatically comes without you even trying. You know, you start talking about a problem, your mind will just grab it, and after a while, then you'll be talking about that problem wherever that your mind has grabbed what you say. That's why they say be careful what you say. Your mind keep repeating it, and all night and all day you're talking about that and thinking about that. Thinking about it all the time. I got word for you. You need to be careful what you think about. You need to think about what you're thinking about. You need to think about what you are thinking about. Think about what you're thinking about, because you can become a person who automatically complains because your mind is programmed to do it. And you got to deprogram your mind by quit quoting some things that you don't like, because that becomes a way of life. Now I'm hurrying along here. A lot of people complain because they, believe it or not, they like control of things. They like to control things. And when some people can't control things and control people, they complain. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm trying to help somebody. You really complain because you want control. Some of you complain about the job when you actually want to be the boss. You want to be in control of that job, and you don't like it because somebody else is the boss. And we like getting back at people. Hey, stories told one time a guy was working on a job, and he went to his friend and said, you know what? I got promoted. I got promoted on the job. And his friend said, really? He said, yeah. And hey, by the way, you fired. You fired. Now that I got the job and I'm your boss, you fired. He loved having that power that for the first time I can fire somebody. People like complaining because they can't be in control. I had a deacon in a church I pastored one. He fussed about everything because he wanted to be the pastor. He wanted to be in control. I got so sick of his mouth complaining one time. I stepped out the pulpit and gave him the Bible. I told him, you go up and preach Sunday and I'm coming to hear you. And I might join your church. The church hit the floor and went to laughing in that conference. I said, go up there and preach something more. He went out, oh no, I ain't no preacher that ain't gonna be. I said, yeah, leave me alone and let me pastor. You want my job, but you don't want to work. And a lot of people want your job, but they don't want to work. They like being in control. And are you that type of person who just love to be in control? Excuse me. Are you mad? And I find a lot of folk want to run the church, can't even run their house. And that's what they're mad about. I've been preaching 54 years and I know. When people, look, I'm talking to pastor, when people are nobody where they are, they want to be somebody where they can be. And sometimes when people are not happy where they are, they want to take somebody else's job because they're not in control where they are, so they want to be in control of you and your job. Think about why you complain so much. It's because you want to be the one that have the last voice. You think that what everybody else doing is wrong until you do it. And it's bad to think you're the only one right and don't nobody think that but you. I repeat, it's bad to think you something and don't nobody think it but you. It's bad to show your hand that nothing please you. Everything goes wrong when people are doing their best and you can't be happy with it. And the truth about it, it can only be right when you got it. And a lot of people complain. You haven't thought about it. Only reason you fussing, you want that person's job and you think you can do a better job. And you probably would do a worse job because you don't know what that job encompasses. You don't know the stress and strain of that job. And when you get it, you fall out and quit because you can't handle it. I remember when we started letting members stay in office only 3 years here now. Thank God, that was a blessing. We used to keep people in office for 20 and 30 years. And boy, they didn't do nothing but mess up things. And it was a mess. The church got tired of that, and we don't let them stay in office over 6 years. 3 years, but 6 is the maximum. So I change chairmen every 3 to 6 years. Well, you know what? Some of those deacons that's always complaining and were fussing about things, when they became chairman, they shut up. They shut up. When they saw how other deacons won't do, and they got to come fussing about it, I was glad to put 1 or 2 chairmen to just let them see it. Then one said to me, God, I didn't know, Pastor, what you go through till I got in this position to be chairman. Some of you witness that when you've been president of some choir or some usher. I didn't know people were so difficult. Now I see what the pastor be complaining, fussing about how we don't do. They so disobedient. They won't work with you. They won't show up to nothing. See? You have no idea what you're walking into when you really get in control. And that's why you complain, because people want to be in control. And of course, I got to say this too. A lot of us complain because we're impatient. We don't have no patience. You know? Think about it. I learned a great lesson about having patience in a grocery line. I tell you this. I was so impatient that I didn't want to stand in that line because it was a long line. You know what I did? I saw another line where it was real low. I jumped out of my line and ran over there to the other register. And the lady said, I'm sorry, we're closed. Guess what? I had to start all over again and go all back. I couldn't go jump back in the line I was in. I had to go all around and start over in the back and start all over. I learned it pays to be patient. You know what I did to deal with my impatience? I started reading a book, or I take out my phone now and start reading something on YouTube. See, you got to get busy. A lot of us are in such a hurry and nowhere to go. I wasn't in no hurry to go nowhere. I just didn't want to stand in that long line. I didn't consider nobody else. That leads me on to the next point, the reason why people complain, because you're concerned about nobody but me, myself, and I. I want to go. I don't consider. There are other people want to go. Stay in your lane. Stay in line. Wait until you're changed. The Bible said, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. You got to, and I know what that means. It means serve. It don't mean just sit there and wait. Serve the Lord. Give service like a waiter. But even why we call somebody a waiter? Because they're waiting on you. Well, that lady's waiting on you for your turn. You got to learn how to have patience. I often say, if you don't learn how to have patience, you're going to become a patient. You got to tone down. This generation has no patience. Everything is microwave and electronic. I don't want nobody collard greens out of a microwave. And I'm telling you right now, it won't taste right. You got to cook those greens in that pot slow. It pays to wait. Don't go marry nobody because you just met them. Everybody, you know, when you first meet, you tell a few lies. People always lie when they first meet. I ain't never met nobody like you. You the best person in the world. Just lying. You know you lying. You're excited. You met several like that. Then the next year, they call with another game. They tell you another lie. And you know what's so bad about it? Some of y'all love the lies. You love hearing that lie. You the prettiest thing in the world, and you know you're not that pretty. You just love that lie. And then you jump and marry them on lies that you love to hear. Because you didn't want to wait. Listen, you give that date ship some time. I don't recommend marrying nobody when you meet them till after 3 years, because after 3 years, you're going to find out if that's a lie, if it's true. Something's going to slip. Something is going to slip out to show you they're doing nothing but using words on you. Because you don't know who you're getting. It pays to wait and see what you're getting involved in. That helping somebody. Stop rushing. Talking about love at first sight will be interpreted by love at second sight. That's called Flemming Arthritis, by the way. You know, something you says your dream might become your nightmare. And a lot of y'all met somebody, you had a honeymoon. Now you got a moon with no honey. Because you wouldn't wait. And now you're complaining because you were impatient. Some of us complain because we don't know what's going on about the situation. And a lot of times we do complain because we don't know what's going on. And we like to know what's going on. But I'm sorry, friend, you can't know everything. And I know people complain, oh, I don't know what's going on. So many things going wrong. What is happening? I'm just sick of all this. I don't know why all this is happening. Why not? This is life. Sometimes everything come at you at one time. And it doesn't mean that all the time the devil is after you either. It's just life. You know, talking about the devil now in my foot. No, that's not the devil. That's arthritis. That's old age. Devil just got in my back. My shot popped. I rebuke him. That's all right, but that's just old age. You're 90 years old talking about I got a backache. It's time to have a backache. God let you live that long, you better shout that you woke up. You said, oh, I'm 90 and I woke up. What a blessing. Praise God. And stop putting everything on the devil. He get credit for what he didn't do. Well, I'll say this. A lot of people complain because they set in their ways. Set in their ways. Oh, I think some of you older people can witness to that. You really know what it is. You don't like it because you don't like change. You know what's amazing to me? We want change, but we don't like change. We want to change, but we don't like change. What you mean, Pastor? We like having these things that we see that's good, but we don't want to give up some things we do. So we want to change, but we don't like a change. I'll give it to you like this. A lot of you young churches out there want a young, energetic pastor. And when he come in, you love him. Oh, he's young. Some of you say he's handsome. His wife is beautiful. His children beautiful. He's educated. He's smart. Ooh, we got to meet this young giant of a preacher. You want that change. And the church packed for several months. A young, energetic pastor. That's where it was when I came here when I was a young 24-year-old pastor. Oh, they love him. Oh, come meet our little pastor. Oh, he's just wonderful. Until I started changing things. And oh, God, his boy too young. Just came in here just tearing up stuff. Wanted to change, but didn't like a change. And I'm going to tell some of you older churches something. You need to stop blaming it on the pastor because things going bad and start seeing you. You don't want to change. And you fussing about the preacher you got and you don't like it because people not coming. But what did you do to drive them off? A complaining mouth around new people and they got frustrated and left. Your mouth. Fussing about the preacher, fussing about what you don't like. And some people don't want to come to church here and all that. You drove the people away because you all old churches don't want to change. And you drove half your members away, then you get mad because there's nobody there. And then when the preacher come there, you put it on him. But what ran them away? You. Fussing. Rejecting them. Don't want to give the young people a chance or the new people a chance. Driving them away. So look, friend, you got to look. Are you ready for the change when you get a new pastor? Are you ready when we get presidents? We don't like the change. We want a new president, but we don't like the change. We have to accept. We voted. And if somebody got in office and you don't like, then you need to vote next time. If somebody in office now, a lot of you all didn't vote, perhaps. Now you got to live with a president you probably don't like. You should have gotten up and voted. We like change, but we won't change, but we don't like change. If your church is going to grow, you got to think about somebody in the future that's going to be with the future. If you know what I mean. You got to get somebody going to be for that generation to keep that generation coming. Not the generation gone, because that generation has had its day. You older folk got to make change. I started letting members dress down 2 Sundays a month, and the other 2 Sundays we dress up. Just slowly teaching my members, okay, people not dressing up every Sunday. Second and fourth Sunday, we wear jeans, whatever we want to wear. Even my mother wear jogging suits. They come dressed down, relax. The first and third Sunday, we dress up so you can wear your nice clothes. Just give in a little bit. I love the idea of some old thing, but I love this microwave. I love that microwave. I don't want to stay all day and wait on to heat up nothing. You don't need to be getting mad. I love the stove and cooking real food, but I also like a microwave for warming up food. We got to accept, hey, you all talk about you don't like this new thing, and you go on back with the horse and buggy and give me the lights where I can switch it on. I have no time for no kerosene lamp. Baby, take this new stuff along with your old self and enjoy it. Life is only to be lived for a short period of time, and you need to know we're only here for a little time. Accept the change and go on. The church needs to build. Tear the old building down and go on and build, because we're not here to worship that building. That's just where the church meets. That's not the church. The church is the people. And if you got to build, get up and do it, because you're only going to be here for a little while. My final word to you is, I don't have time to get to the text because I wanted to get to Naaman and 2 Kings chapter 5 and 9, because he was complaining and fussing about going down in muddy Jordan. I'm sure you had preached when they told him to go wash in Jordan. That's in 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 9. He was complaining because things wasn't going his way. He didn't want to go down and get baptized 7 times to get rid of his leprosy, sick and fussing and complaining. Had that complaining mouth because of who he was. So a lot of people complain because of who they are. And his pride was in the way. And here he is sick, and the prophet said, go dip in Jordan 7 times. He gets down there and see it's muddy, and he started complaining. Well, not there better waters in Damascus. Why I got to go in this muddy water to be healed? When you sick, you don't have no choice but to take what the doctor gives you. I don't like this nasty medicine. Well, you better take it if you want to get well. You got to sometimes go in muddy Jordan. But everything look good is only for the eyes. And everything look good to you, not good for you. And maybe God was bringing Naaman down so he would stop complaining when he got through fussing about, I don't want to go in this Jordan River, it's muddy. His own servant told him in verse 10, he said, Master, the prophet did, if he'd asked you to do something really big, you would have done that. But this is simple. Just do what the man says. Stop complaining and go in the water. And by the way, sometimes it takes somebody else to tell you about yourself. He was finna go back home fussing, still got leprosy, and probably would have died the next day. Complaining don't heal nobody. Complaining doesn't solve the problem. Stop fussing and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Look at somebody and say, you need to shut up. That's what you need to do. I often tell this, God gave us a tongue, but he put several locks on it. He first gave us some tough cords to hold it down my throat. And then he gave me some teeth to keep it in. See that? Keeping the tongue in. Then he gave me some lip. I got 3 locks on this thing. And out of all those locks, it comes out anyhow. And did you know everything wear out on people but their tongue? People's eyes get dim, steps get short, mind get feeble, but you ain't never heard nobody's tongue wearing out. Old sick, still on sick bed, telling lies on everybody. Dying in line. That's how dangerous James says a hell fire. Complaining when you ought to been praising. And you know what the story said? When that servant challenged him, he went down in that water 7 times and forgot about how the water looked and came up cleansed. Because obedience will win, but pride is destructive. And you complain because of your pride. So that's how you can really overcome. My final word to help you deal with your complaining. Think about it. I'm going to come back to you now. Just start listening to yourself. Maybe you ought to tape yourself and listen to how you sound. Have you thought about, have you ever just as I said earlier, start thinking about what you're thinking. And maybe you need to stop thinking stinky thinking. And maybe you need to just pause, sit down, and listen to you. And then you'll find out I'm out of the will of God, because God hates complaining. He wants you to trust him and stop complaining, because that's the devil's weapon against Christians, complaining about nothing. So listen to yourself, and maybe you'll start seeing that some people don't want to come around you because they tired of hearing your complaining mouth. They're always fussing about something wrong, nothing right, always negative. I know a preacher, I didn't want to bring him around me no more because he didn't have nothing good to say about no preacher. Every preacher I said, great preacher, he'll go to yes, but. You know, I found out he was just as arrogant as he could be. He could find something wrong with all other preachers but him. It was his arrogant pride. Why I didn't want him back here. I got tired of hearing it. You ought to say something good about somebody. Praise God today. Well, I hope you take these words, listen to how you sound. One thing helped me on one of my sermons once. I went home and listened to it myself. And by the way, that helps sometimes preachers when they're preaching too long. Go home and listen to your own sermon. When I was listening to one of my sermons, I thought, oh my God, I stood that long? If I'd been listening to my own sermon, put me to sleep. When I listened to it at all, I went to sleep. Or I started understanding why folk fall asleep in church. But when I listened to my own, I started feeling the pain of why people were getting bored. Sometimes preachers, you can't say it all. You can say a whole lot of something about nothing. So, get to the point. Get to the main point. Listen to yourself sometime. And then you'll see what you're doing to hurt yourself. So listen to your own complaint. Sit down and think about all I did all day was fuss about how I feel. And I've said nothing good about the goodness of God. So start talking about Jesus and his goodness, and talk about the love of God and how he bless you. And you will fool the devil who wants to bring you down with a complaining mouth. Let your mouth be a mouth of praise, and say something good about people, and you'll feel good about yourself. Can I get a witness? Amen. Thank you, my friend. I hope these words will help you today. Now, listen, as always, you can always go to our website at our church, which is mcbcatl.org. That's our church website. We're trying to drive people to that website. It's a beautiful website. If you want to know more about us and about me and my son, who's the co-pastor, Timothy Flemming Jr., and my grandson, who's off at Harvard University right now, who was a children pastor. But you'll find out what we do here. We have church every Sunday at 9 a.m. Now we have one service, 9 a.m., and my members love it. I was just really trying it out the first year. They love it getting in here at 9 o'clock, and we on out of here right after 11 o'clock. And man, now they can get out and go to Sunday's brunch and enjoy, and I do too. Go and enjoy your Sunday's brunch, and got a chance to go to the malls and do your little shopping with family, and then go home and get your children ready to go to school the next day. And we just love, and we doing just as much for one service that I was doing with two. And we love it, getting out on time. So not 11 o'clock no more, not 10:30. Mount Carmel, both churches starts at 9 o'clock at 768 Martin Street, and here at 2755 Campbellton Road here in Atlanta, start at 9 o'clock. Now, if you want to reach us and you don't have internet and all these things, you're looking for some of my sermon and my old camp meeting songs or anything you want direction here, here's the church phone number, 1-800-682-2765. 1-800-682-2765. We want you to call us. And remember, you that was talking about going to the Holy Land, we rescheduled the time for next year. So if you paid, you can continue to pay it on your payment. We'll probably be going in May of next year because a lot of people here will say they didn't have enough time to get the payments started to be ready in August. So look, you can just call us or keep the payments that you got and let us know you still want to go. Now I'm giving you more time that you can give $50 a month, $100 a month till you get that $3,900 paid. So you just need to just call us at any moment right now, and we will make sure that we get that information to you, okay? And also follow us on Twitter. You can check us out on Twitter. That's Timothy Flemming. Check us out on Twitter as well as you're checking us out. We're also on Instagram now. Instagram, that's at Mount Carmel Baptist Church. That's Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. I want to also tell all of you that have time to this Sunday coming, we're going to have our T. Flemming Gospel Choir concert. So if you're available this Sunday, right after church, come over and join us at our choir concert. That will be this Sunday, right after church. We're going home and eat and whatever, enjoy ourselves. Come back and hear my choir. It starts at 4 o'clock. That's T. Flemming Gospel Choir in concert under the direction of Mr. Bradley. He's our minister of music. I don't know, I might get up there and sing a song myself. I'll come to hear them, but sometimes they'll ask the pastor to join us. My friend, it's been such a pleasure coming into your home today. Come see me on Sunday and go to our website and make a donation and become a partner. It's your donation. You know I'm on Word Network every Saturday at 12:30. You can watch me on the Word Network. A lot of you used to see me on BET. Well, I'm on the Word Network every Saturday at 12:30. You can watch our broadcast. Okay? And a lot of my sermons are on YouTube now. And a lot of my music is on YouTube. So check out YouTube. You can watch that at home for free. I'm putting a lot of sermons on there and other people too. So you get in the Word all day long. But you can go to my Amazon store. I have an Amazon store. That's Timothy Flemming Amazon store. You'll find all my sermons and my music on Amazon. Everybody going online. Everybody always asks, I can't find Reverend Flemming's sermons and music no more. Well, people don't buy CDs anymore. You notice all the record stores closed down. So you're looking for my old camp meetings, looking for my sermons. Hey, go online. Go to the Amazon stores. Amazon taking over everything. Look like it now. So they put a lot of people out of business. People not even buying CDs. They downloading. Now you can download some of my music on iTunes. Now you can do that. Check it out. Also, you can go to cdbaby.com. That's cdbaby.com. And a lot of people are buying and ordering my stuff online through cdbaby.com. You can order my old camp meeting and they'll send it straight to your house without even calling us here at the church. Okay? So that's the media. When you say I've been looking for his messages, I used to be in a lot of stores, go to my Amazon store as well as CD Baby. Order online or go on iTunes and download. Just thought I'd throw that out because we're getting a lot of people keep telling me they're looking for my product. Thank you so much. See you next time.